Welcome to my project ideas. This is an ongoing series on SAP ABAP. And in this particular video, we'll be learning how to create an ABAP CDS and also use that CDS to create a OData and perform some operations on that. So there are some prerequisite that you should know what exactly is ABAP CDS and the type of ABAP CDS we do have. What is SEZW OData and how to create an OData. What are SA11 SAP tables. So before we start actually writing the code, there are some configurations that we should do. So the very first thing is you need to install Eclipse, and once you have installed the Eclipse, you have to install ABAP Development Tools, and that can be done within the Eclipse. And once you do that, then you need to connect the SAP server with your Eclipse and open up the SAP Logon with that. So once you're done with this part, then we'll be discussing this particular section where we will actually creating a ABAP CDS. All the required links that we are going to discuss this video will be added in the description. In this particular blog provided by SAP, you will see steps to download Eclipse. So whatever is latest, we are going to install that. Once you have downloaded the Eclipse, then you need to install it. So once you have installed, you will choose a workspace like this. And once you choose a workspace, your IDE will open up. So this particular stage is done. Since we have completed the installation of Eclipse, now you need to go to help and then click on install new software. And there we need to enter a link. That link we can find from this website, and that will provide also in the description. Yeah, this one exactly. That like this. Press enter. You see, ABAP Development Tools is available now. You go back just to check out the steps. All the things are given. They have chosen all of them and install it straight away. So like this, we'll choose all of them. We are not working as of now on HANA, so we'll exclude this part and go to next. And now it will download these dependencies online and install it over the Eclipse. So once we have completed the installation of ABAP Development Tools, then we'll follow how to configure the backend with the Eclipse. For that, the very first thing is that you should log in into ABAP environment. So I have already logged in like this, and now I'll go back to Eclipse. I'll go to Window, click on Perspective, open the Perspective, and choose Other. Let's check what all we have, and I want everything in the back. So I'll choose to. Okay, so what I'll do is I will click on File, and I'll click on New, and then click on ABAP Project like this. And then it will give me all options of my connections. So I have this connection active as of now. I'll choose it and click on Next. And then it will ask me the configuration. In case everything is perfect, I'll just click on Next. So once you enter right name of the username, password, and the client, you will see the option like this. So I'll just click on finish, or I can give it a name, So I will call it Z ABAP CDS underscore Rudra. Fine, click finish. And you'll see a new project is added like this. And even it is showing the connection. And now I can open up anything that is actually in a ABAP repository from here. So now we'll plan to create a ABAP CDS view. So for that, I will go to my local folder, TMP, and I will see your tables that are created, because on base of that only, I'm planning to create a ABAP CDS. Seems perfect. Since we have already done the configuration, so we'll switch to PPT to see what are the next steps. So the very first step is you have to create an ABAP CDS, and then you have to create an OData based on that. And once it is done, then you can run it, or you can do the configuration of OData gateway and check it out. For that also we have an article. We'll share this link in the description, and we're going to follow the steps mentioned here. So if you see, we have reached this point where we can see our $TMP or temporary folder or package. So we'll go back to ABAP Eclipse, right click on our package, click on new, and click on other ABAP repository object. And from there, you need to go through core data services. So we'll see if we can see core data services here. Within others, I'm trying to see. So data definition. So actually it is now in the dictionary. So I'll click on data definition, click on next like this. Provide package name and description of CDS view. So Z, so they are different type of CDS view. One is basic. For that you used B. If you are using interface, you use I, and if you are using consumption, you use C. So we'll be directly creating a consumption CDS view. So I'll call GC underscore EMP data. Fine. And let's write consumption view for employee data. Make sense? We'll go to next. And in our use case, if you can see, we see this transport request option. We do not have a transport request, so we'll click this next. And the next one is you need to choose the define view. So by default, it's chosen as define view, and then you need to click on finish. And it will create a template for CDS view. And always remember that when you create a CDS view and you try to activate a CDS view, a copy of that CDS is also added in a ABAP table in a form of view. So now you see this is the name of the CDS view, and this is the name of our table. So data source name, right? So for us, it will be coming from Z Barry underscore EMP. Make sense? And now you have to define the data selection query. So in our use case, I will just use ZV underscore. V stands for view, and it will create a view for the CDS view. So when I say view, it will be a BAP SC11 view. ZMP underscore data. Fine. What else? Client dependent. If not be given, I will just skip this part, and then not required by data, and then a field names. Field names you can get from this table. Double click on that. I will see your table loading. And the best part is that it loads the SAP table itself. I can use all the SAP commands like control like Y I've used, copy like this. Fine. Keep adding comma like this. That's it. It's save and activate. So to save, you will just use Control S, and for activation, you need to find something called candles. So it is now activated also, right? So now we can have to find something called play button, and this is another one. This is the one. And you just use ABAP application. Click OK, and you will see all the data that was there in the table. This is the table, right? See this? Click here. This is table data. Now it is part of ABAP CDS also. It comes like this. And this field's name you can control from here. So you can like right there, just like this. Just to showcase how exactly you can change the field names just by simple steps. Then click on play. You see ID is coming like this, fname is coming like this. So whatever you have added there, it is also visible in this part. So this particular CDS, you can also add more SQL queries, like select from this and this two tables. You can add a joined statement. A lot of things you can do. So I will not play with the field names, so I will just make it whatever it was. But I don't want to forget, what field names I've written here, what field names I've given in table, and what field names I'll be using in OData. So I do not want to make the things confusing. So that's why I'm making the entire CDS exactly like the table. Fine. So we are done with the creation of CDS view. With the view. So we'll just cross check one thing. So that the name of this particular view in the SAP S11 view. We'll go to S11, go on view, enter the name of our view, and you see a copy, a replica of CDS view is created here. And it also show the same data. Looks amazing, right? So now next part is create a OData on top of this. So for this also we have shared this particular article link within the description of the video. So what you need to do is go to transaction SCGW like this. Click on this part and create a new project. I will create the OData like this and choose the very first one, that is SAP service with SAP annotations, and save it in local object. And then we'll see if we can import a DDIC structure. We can write the the name of the entity set that we want, and the DDIC structure will be the name of the SQL view. This one. So next, choose all the fields that you want, and I would like to keep the name of the fields exactly the same. and the key in our use case is employee ID. Click on finish. Try to save and generate the data. So if you see, we have created, the steps are like we have created ABAP table, and we had already the table in the ABAP C11, and then we, on top of that, we have created a ABAP CDS view, and the CDS view automatically creates a ABAP view for a C11, and using that view we have created OData. So now how exactly I can use the ABAP CDS view? So in this particular section of service implementation, you can come here and you can click on map to data source, and here you can choose a business as entity. Click here on the name, and here you can choose core data services. Okay, so you can just go to your CDS view, copy the name of the CDS view like this, click on OK, and click on OK like this. You see a mapping is created, right? So like this, mapping is created, and now you can drag and drop like this the fields that you want to connect, and click on save, and then click on this generate icon, and you see the order is generated, and even the mapping is created like this. The report. So we have followed everything that was possible here, and now you have to generate the service. So and you have to add the service. So you find all the service like this, and find your service like this, and click on add select a service, and click on local object here, and just click on this creation of the service will be done. You go back to this page and click on your service and check if the metadata loads fine. Yes, it looks fine. And from here you can click on gateway service name G employee star, and you see our data will load like this. Right click on that and activate the service, and you will see yes, and you see the service is activated now. So we'll try to run our service from gateway client, and as of now we have not added any data set. So in that case we'll just try to run the metadata first, and it works like a charm. In case your metadata is not working fine, then you can drop a comment with the error you're facing, and we'll try to resolve it with some steps. Yeah. And now we can see that we have something called employee set. So this is the entity set that we've created, right? So we'll try to click that and try to get the data. And you see, we have also fetched the data. So if I go back to the OData, as I see DW, and I can show you that within the OData, we have not written a single line of code. we go to dpcxt. Dpcxt is a place where you write code, to perform the operations like CRUD, and none of the methods are like redefined here, and none of the methods have been changed so that we can perform the CRUD operations. We have performed using this simple binding of mapping. And how powerful it is, we can just get to know it, that not only simple read all operations, but also we can apply filters. We can do uh, read like deep entity calls just using the CDS that we have created here. Here we can write a lot of operations. We can even do CRUD operations using CDS. And you don't have to write a single line of code in OData. So how powerful is that? You can just recognize from this fact. So we hope that this video is very helpful to you in creating your first project using ABAP CDS view and ABAP OData. We'll be creating more projects based on the CDS, and we'll see how exactly we can improve from here. Thank you very much.